Tonight in NBN News, Anthony Albanese strikes a deal with Singapore in a bid to boost fuel supply. A second midwife charged over the death of a baby during a home birth in Newcastle. Residents evacuated from a Bar Beach unit that caught fire overnight, police investigating. Countdown to splashdown, the world holds its breath as the Artemis II crew begins its journey home. And Nathan Cleary's high praise for Lockie Galvin after the Bulldogs' big win. Details at 6.
Under the pump and under surveillance, making sure petrol stations follow price rules.
If they don't, that's an offence.
Join me.
When things get real, I want to speak to a real person real quick.
Things are real.
Okay, and the tow truck is on its way.
That's why Yui is CanStar's most awarded comprehensive car and home insurer. Yui, you insured.
1,000 seems like a lot, but neither.
Just think of a thing.
It's 17, 20 Aussie dollars. What are the transfer fees? 0.
We're not you, but when it comes to sending foreign currency, we can be your W.
She'll love it.
One tool could be the start of something so much bigger. Ryobi, come equipped.
You don't have to do that here. You don't have to.
How do I know if it's the best?
They're Aldi prices. You don't have to check them.
Really?
No need to check twice. You get quality for less. That's Aldi prices. Aldi. Good different.
Get the power of Tyre Power's big Easter sale.
Hop in for a sweet deal on these Toyo tyres. Buy 3 and get 1 free.
So make sure you have a safe Easter break.
Get the power.
Get the power.
It's on again, our 39th year of pure fun in the Bay. The Byron Bay Property Sales Ocean Swim Classic and the Byron Bay Chocolate Company Mini Swim, presented by the Byron Bay Winter Whales, is on Sunday, May 3. Enter now and join us for Australia's best ocean swim. All proceeds go to local charities and organisations. The Byron Bay Property Sales Ocean Swim Classic and the Byron Bay Chocolate Company Mini Swim, Sunday, May 3. Don't miss it. And we'll see you in the Bay in May.
When you discover mold has taken hold, it's something you can't unsee. It affects your health. We remove with stealth. It's gone in just one day. To enjoy a 12-month warranty, all you need is Electro-Dry. Electro-Dry. Electro-Dry.
They've kept us on the edge of our seats. Some of the most thrilling, nail-biting finishes in the history of our game. Chapter Broncos Cowboys. Our Friday night footy showstopper. Live and free on 9 and 9 now.
While you contemplate it, 4 for 50, we're going to the newsroom.
Coming up in NBN News, diesel divide. Some remote communities now being slugged up to $3.75 a litre. It comes as the PM signs a commitment with Singapore to keep fuel and gas flowing between both countries. Also today, a second midwife charged over the death of a baby in the Hunter. Wild scenes on the border. A driver leads police on a chase from the Gold Coast to the Tweed. And the late Queen's most iconic looks go on show. The details coming up next.
Okay, before we went to the newsroom.
Tonight, our gas for Singapore's diesel, a critical trade deal to keep fuel flowing into Australia. Israel to hold peace talks with Lebanon amid more strikes on Beirut. A second midwife charged over a baby boy's death in the Hunter. The crew of Artemis II prepares for the most dangerous part of their moon mission. And the Bulldogs' Lockie Galvin steals Nathan Cleary's thunder in an upset win over the Panthers.
This is NBN News with Natasha Beyersdorf.
Good evening. Australia will be prioritised for fuel from Singapore under an agreement signed between the two countries today. The deal pledges maximum efforts for one another as the world scrambles for petrol and awaits peace in the Middle East.
On the west coast of Singapore, a shipment from the west coast of Australia. Liquefied natural gas, keeping the lights on in Asia and fuel flowing to Australia. The Prime Minister dressed in green but searching for black gold on this fly-in, fly-out fight for fuel. Later, with counterpart Lawrence Wong signing a guarantee of supply, promising maximum effort but no specific quantity.
At a time like this, trust, friendship and cooperation with our neighbours matters more than ever before.
We will keep trade flowing between our two countries.
According to the Australian Institute of Petroleum, Singapore provides 54% of our imported petrol, 16% of our diesel.
It is a genuine partnership. It's not one way. We're a major supplier of energy to Singapore and we will continue to be.
Prime Minister's up in Singapore. Price there has dropped by $100 a barrel for diesel. Why isn't that showing up in the Bowsers here?
This huge Jurong Island facility, home to more than 100 petrochemical companies, importing to and exporting from Australia. Despite the vast expanse, capacity here is constrained by oil stuck in the Middle East. It means these companies will soon have to start prioritising countries.
We do not plan to restrict exports.
We can't constantly do this. As a nation, we need to look at our sovereignty.
Start looking at ways where we can guarantee our own liquid fuel security beyond having to go cap in hand to other countries.
Tonight, diesel in shorter supply, meaning similar arrangements with Korea, Japan and Malaysia will also be crucial as the US and Iran prepare for peace talks of their own.
Clearly, the discussions over the course of the weekend in Pakistan will be very important. All of this revolves around that.
In Singapore, Charles Croucher, NBN News.
Israel says it'll hold talks with Lebanon as its airstrikes across the country threaten to derail the US-Iran ceasefire. The fragile truce still hangs in the balance for now, with vessels barely trickling through the Strait of Hormuz.
On the streets of Lebanon, it's dangerous and deadly. Authorities say hundreds have been killed and more injured by Israeli strikes that aren't stopping. The World Health Organization warning hospitals may run out of critical medical supplies within days. The IDF hitting what it calls Hezbollah targets. Benjamin Netanyahu says tonight there is no ceasefire with Lebanon, but I instructed the cabinet to begin direct negotiations with Lebanon in order to achieve two objectives. One, to disarm Hezbollah, and the second, a peace agreement. The stage set in Pakistan for talks between the US and Iran in the coming days, as both sides hold up their end of the ceasefire for now.
U.S. forces have paused offensive operations, and we remain vigilant and we remain ready if called.
Donald Trump posting, there are reports that Iran is charging fees to tankers going through the Hormuz Strait. They better not be, and if they are, they better stop now. Iranian state media presenting these words from the new Supreme Leader. We will definitely bring the management of the Strait of Hormuz to a new level. An Indian tanker successfully crossing the shipping passage as dozens of countries unite to secure it.
To make sure that this principle of free shipping is maintained. This is including Japan, Korea, Australia being part of this.
None of these people, including our own very disappointing NATO, understood anything unless they have pressure placed upon them. Donald Trump posting that after meeting with the alliance's chief. The British Defence Secretary says Russia is the primary threat to NATO and thinks Vladimir Putin wants the UK distracted by the Iran war, with a Russian military operation close to home recently uncovered. 3 Russian submarines caught lurking near undersea cables essential to digital communications in waters north of the UK. British armed forces carrying out a month-long operation.
And to President Putin, I say, we see you. We see your activity over our cables and our pipelines.
In London, Hannah Sinclair, NBN News.
Displays honouring Ben Robert Smith at the Australian War Memorial will remain on show, at least until criminal proceedings against the accused war criminal are complete. But the head of the National Institution promises the truth will be told, whatever that may be.
Opening the new Anzac Hall, telling the previously untold stories of 1,200 veterans. But this week, one war story is louder than others.
Whatever the truth is, whenever the truth is known, we will tell it.
Ben Robert Smith's uniform, medals and combat helmet in the Hall of Valour, reserved for recipients of the Victoria Cross, earned through his actions in Afghanistan, now an accused war criminal.
The most important thing all of us can do now is allow justice to take its course.
The famous display remains. Next to it, a newly updated panel, reading Robert Smith has been charged with 5 counts of the war crime of murder. The legal process is ongoing. Through a decade of investigations and legal troubles, the War Memorial has resisted calls from some for the Ben Robert Smith display to be removed, saying it wants to tell the full story of Australians in war. Telling those stories since 1941.
It is in their honour that this memorial has been erected.
New galleries today opened, full-sized vehicles on the floor. This, G for George, the Lancaster bomber.
And the reason we are doing this now is because Anzac Day is nearly upon us.
A second midwife has been charged with manslaughter following the death of a baby in the Hunter. Police allege Jordan Michaela Holland was employed as a second midwife during a home birth in 2024, but failed in her duty of care by not seeking hospital treatment for the woman when she suffered complications. The woman attended John Hunter Hospital, but her child died less than a week later. Fellow midwife, 36-year-old Abella Coxon, has also been charged with manslaughter over the child's death. Today, Holland faced a bail court represented by her solicitor Drew Hamilton. She was granted conditional release and will be back in court in June. A man has died after the garbage truck he was driving crashed in the Hunter near Singleton. Emergency services arrived on Marini Road in Marini just before 9 a.m. yesterday to find the vehicle had veered off the road, struck a tree and rolled down an embankment. The driver, who worked for a contractor doing curbside collection for the local council. Police are investigating what caused a Newcastle unit fire at Bar Beach overnight. Emergency services were called to Light Street just before 7:30 to reports of a blaze on the 3rd floor. All residents were evacuated and luckily no one was injured. A multi-agency search for a missing fisherman in Coffs Harbour has been suspended. The 32-year-old man was reported missing in waters off Emerald Beach on Monday night. Despite a 4-day search, the man hasn't been located. Water Police and other agencies will continue to search the area over the coming days. Manning Valley dairy farmers are continuing to feel the pressure due to the ongoing fuel crisis. They're calling on shoppers to show support in the supermarket as they prepare for months of uncertainty.
Deploying high-tech drones to spray corn crops with weed killer at Manning Valley Dairy.
Especially when we've got wet conditions, we can actually get on farms and not compact soil. We've got some hills and hilly hills we can't get to with machinery and things like that.
But while the technology is looking up, the bottom line is sinking.
Yeah, look, it's pretty challenging. It's just like overnight, all our costs have just gone through the roof.
For manager Simon Scowen, the fuel crisis is costing his dairy operation thousands.
Our January fuel bill was $10,000. For this last month, it's probably going to be $22,000.
It's also costing an extra $2 a day to feed their cows.
You might say that's only $2 extra a day, but when you've got 1,000 cows, $2,000 a day adds up.
But we're seeing beef, cattle sales going really, really high. So Tamworth today, over 10,000 head of cattle, they reckon they're going to break records. That's everybody destocking.
As production costs rise, farmers are calling on shoppers for support by purchasing Australian brands and fresh produce. A small way to help as farmers prepare for months of uncertainty.
We don't have diesel. These cows don't get fed and watered. I spend more time with these cows than I do with my kids. It's a real worrying time.
Kendra Jewell, NBN News.
Woolgoolga Curry Fest has received a $20,000 funding boost to help the festival celebrate its 20th anniversary year. The 3-day celebration takes place late September over 3 days, celebrating food, culture and dance. The grant was secured through the Federal Festival's Australian program, supporting regional arts and cultural events. A new wave of property demand is sweeping the Tweed coast and the Northern Rivers, with the local market surging. A major development could potentially double the population, reshaping the property market with it.
A property gold rush is hitting the Tweed coast, homes snapping up faster than the tide rolls in.
This area has gone from being a quiet coastal town to a real emerging area for people both to live and invest.
Kings Forest, a 900-hectare estate set to deliver around 4,500 dwellings, is swallowing up the last of the available land around Kingscliff.
It's very tightly held in terms of there's no new land left to be developed on this beach side. So apart from Kings Forest, that is the last opportunity for people.
It would develop most of the area's remaining greenfield supply and is attracting investors from across the country.
At times we'll see a greater number of people moving out of Sydney or Melbourne or Brisbane, for example.
Local real estate agents say the boom has been fuelled by close to $1 billion in new amenities across the region, including the new Kingscliff Hospital.
That's a great investment, long-term, fastest growing area on the eastern seaboard of Australia, so great economic or financial reasons to be here. And of course you've got the lifestyle.
The Kings Forest development is expected to double Kingscliff's population and boost Tweed Shires by around 10%, but it won't come cheap, with median house prices in the region nearing close to $2 million over the past year.
In the last 3 months, last quarter of this year, our business transacted close to $150 million with 50 settled sales and an average sale price of $2.8 million.
As locals increasingly prioritise smaller luxury.
This area is quite a popular one for people to come and reside who have, possibly sold out of areas like the Gold Coast and Byron Bay, and they're looking to downsize here.
Tara Carrigan, NBN News.
A walking group in Lismore is helping reduce the risk of fatal falls among older residents. Organised by the Northern New South Wales Health District, the initiative focuses on maintaining strength and mobility in older people.
Patients or people over the age of 65 actually die more of falls-related injuries than car accidents. It's not only falls in the community, it's falls in the hospital as well.
The group is also promoting conversations about early intervention. Let's take a quick look at the weather today. Very warm to hot across the region. Once again, top temperatures up into the 30s. Port Macquarie 30 degrees the top. The same at Coffs today. Grafton hit 34. You're watching NBN News. Still ahead, the words of a father bring a judge to tears in the case of a fatal skydiving jump. Trapped for nearly 2 weeks, a miner finally freed in Mexico. And an Audi seen on a wild ride both sides of the Queensland border.
For many Australians, owning a home feels far away. But now all first home buyers can access the expanded Australian Government 5% deposit scheme. Income caps have been removed and a wider range of homes now qualify, bringing home ownership in reach for more Australians. If you weren't eligible before, you now could be. To see if you could buy with a 5% deposit, visit firsthomebuyers.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Get project ready at Super Cheap Auto. Save 40% on this Tool Pro low profile garage jack. Or grab this Tool Pro automotive toolkit for half price. Make it super. Super Cheap Auto.
Small businesses, growing your business just got easier. 9 Ad Manager allows you to run TV ads and book your search, social media and digital display ads all in one simple platform. Advertise on the big screen and all screens in between for as little as $550. 9 Ad Manager, where small goes big.
There's 162 steps in making a hat and about 66 pairs of hands that each hat will go through. We're one of the only hat manufacturers in the world that actually makes them start to finish. It's pretty important that we maintain that because definitely a dying skill. And that's what makes our Kuba so special, is we're locally made by Australians for Australians.
The world's best players playing together. Up and across. The hammer in the catch. Australian sport.
I want Triple M through there every round. Give me comedy pops, give me yacht rock sounds. Politics, big fun, celebrity gossip. Don't tell anyone.
Give your ears what they're crying out for. Radio and audio created and curated locally. Listener.
Sharon?
You coming to Doris's leaving drinks later?
Nope. I've got tickets to the Super Rugby.
I come too!
Tell them you've got Super Rugby Pacific tickets.
Who's Doris?
It was a Gold Coast car chase that looked like something out of a Hollywood film. A driver crossing into New South Wales and back again in a stolen car with a fuel nozzle sticking out the side, boot wide open and tyres slashed.
Riding on rims in Pacific Pines, the boot flung open. A stolen car tears through a roundabout, narrowly avoiding our 9 News car. Suburban streets becoming this Audi's racetrack. 3 hours into a high-speed game of cat and mouse with police, a pit stop. The driver pulling into a Carrara Servo for a splash and dash. The petrol hose ripped from the Bowser, still lodged inside the fuel tank. Allegedly behind the wheel is 21-year-old Elijah Daniel Troy Shadbolt Deverick, accused of driving on the wrong side of the road, zooming up and down the M1, even crossing the state border and back again.
Just past me going northbound with his boot open, wide open.
Police tracking the white Audi Q5 since yesterday morning when it was reportedly stolen from a Highland Park home. 13 hours later, it all comes to a crashing end in a ditch. Shadbolt Deverick allegedly fleeing into bushland in Oxenford. He didn't get far. But police say Shadbolt Deverick wasn't riding solo. Officers spotting the SUV travelling in convoy with a stolen white MG ZS. That car is still outstanding. 21-year-old today facing Southport Magistrates Court, charged with fraud and dangerous driving offences. He's been remanded in custody until his next court appearance in May. Bella Schwarzenegger, NBN News.
2 men have been jailed for more than 10 years over the horrific arson attack of a Newcastle musician. Tyson Brockbank was doused in petrol and set alight in the unprovoked incident on King Street, leaving him with lifelong injuries. Sonny David and Joshua Morris both pleaded guilty over the attack. Today, a judge found it was David who assaulted Mr. Brockbank, then covered him in fuel before Morris lit a flame and set him alight. He was jailed for at least 7 years and 5 months, while David could be released a year later in 2032. A district court judge has fought back tears as a bereaved father spoke about the avoidable deaths of his son and tandem partner who died in a skydiving accident at Goulburn in 2021. Frank Hoare told the court he holds no animosity towards the director of a skydiving business who was recently convicted over the fatal accident.
Skydivers smiling before a fatal leap of faith. Moments after this video, experienced instructor Stephen Hoare and his tandem passenger Alex Welling got tangled on the plane they jumped out of, a strap snagging on a metal step that wasn't approved by an engineer. Last month, a judge found skydiving operator John Ferreira guilty of breaching his safety duties. Is there anything you'd like to say to the families? Do you think there's anything that could have been done to prevent their deaths? Today, Ferreira faced a sentence hearing and listened as Stephen Hoare's father told the court, "Losing our son in a skydiving accident has shattered our lives in ways that words will never fully capture. What makes this loss even harder to bear is knowing that it may have been preventable." 5 years on, the family is still fighting for an inquest. They're desperate for a coroner to recommend that all Cessna aircraft be fitted with a newly designed step, which is snag-free. Had this safer design been in place earlier, it may have prevented the deaths. No family should have to fight so hard for change after such a loss. My son's life mattered. Let his death be the reason something finally changes within the industry. Frank Hoare says he holds no animosity towards Ferreira because he hadn't intended to cause Stephen's death. A father of 3 remembered by those who loved him as charismatic, irrepressible and full of life. Ferreira will be sentenced next Friday. Emma Partridge, NBN News.
The gin controversy that consumed the final months of Karen Webb's time as New South Wales Police Commissioner has now been resolved. The Law Enforcement Conduct Commission clearing the former top cop of serious misconduct over the taxpayer-purchased bottles of alcohol. It found, even though Ms Webb bought them from her friend's distillery, it was a tradition also carried out by her predecessor, Mick Fuller. After almost 2 weeks trapped underground, this is the moment a Mexican miner was found by rescuers, army divers discovering the man in waist-deep water after following his flickering torchlight. A dam breach caused the mine to flood on March 25. 1 other miner remains missing. Coming up next, a rare address from Melania Trump, the First Lady distancing herself from Jeffrey Epstein. Astronauts prepare for the most dangerous part of the Artemis 2 mission, coming home. And new research on the hidden risks of weight loss jabs.
Watch me, I'm sitting at the top all eyes. You should know that I don't play my best cards. Wow, look at me now. It's a long way down, like wow. Look at me now. I'm a winner. Wow, look at me now. It's a long way, I'm a winner.
I promise to protect this family. I got you.
Everything I'm doing. Everything I'm doing for you.
We were brothers for life.
You can't trust anybody.
Sometimes the people that you trust the most can turn on you with no warning. Family sticks together no matter what.
Imagine if every corner of your countertop was as impressive as that corner. Where the only thing better than the book is the espresso. Where one battery can take you to unexpected places. And winning back the title of family favorite salsa can be done with just a twist. Because there are kitchens, and then there's KitchenAid.
Oh, hey, hon, can you pass that?
She'll love it.
One tool could be the start of something so much bigger. Ryobi, come equipped.
Who's at the door?
I'm so sorry. It was an accident.
Make me big again.
The thing is,
I could die? Tiny?
you're not gonna die, Tiny. You'll be safe in the dollhouse. This is kind of nice.
Except for the tiny elephant in the room.
The Miniature Wife. Stream now, only on Stan.
1,000 dogs have tried Kirkapet Canine.
Go to k9health.com.au. I have a sample pack, 2 weeks worth, made up for your dog. That only costs $10, which is really just postage and handling. It's pretty simple. 2 weeks worth of pills, see if they work.
Go Harvey Norman. Hot deals on bed linen. Add an uplift in energy to your bedroom with the Lenora Queen Quilt Cover Set. Now only $99. Or indulge in the soft cotton Floriade. Queen size just $129. Best prices at Harvey Norman now.
It was a surprise address live from the White House with no clear motivation for its timing, but a clear message to the world. US First Lady Melania Trump denying any relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and, unlike her husband, calling for a public hearing for victim survivors. Walking toward a White House podium, not the president, but the First Lady, blasting what she's calling false smears.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today.
In a rare solo live address, Melania Trump adamant she never had a relationship with late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein or his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell.
I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island.
The First Lady calling out fake images and statements about herself and Epstein, she says, have been circulating on social media for years. The Epstein files had been fading from the limelight since the Iran war, so exactly why the First Lady is speaking out now is unknown.
Melania Trump thinks about everything she does, and she thinks about it for a very long time, and she does things very strategically.
It's believed the US president didn't know about the address beforehand.
I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump.
Mrs. Trump also calling on Congress to give victim survivors the chance to testify at a public hearing.
Then, and only then, we will have the truth.
In the United States, Lily Greer, NBN News. Venezuelan protesters have clashed with riot police after a march in the nation's capital escalated. Union leaders, retirees and public sector workers were demanding higher wages, which haven't increased since 2022. Sean Diddy Combs's lawyers were back in court today fighting to have his conviction overturned. The disgraced music artist is currently serving a 50-month sentence in a New Jersey federal prison over transportation for prostitution. His legal team is urging the US Appeals Court to question if the sentence is too harsh. In fewer than 12 hours, the Artemis II crew will arrive back on Earth, and the final minutes of the journey can be the most dangerous. The astronauts and teams at NASA spent today preparing for splashdown off the coast of California.
The astronauts woke to the country track Lonesome Drifter, but the Orion capsule's solitary expedition into the depths of space is nearing its end. Splashdown is tomorrow morning off the coast of California, the finale of the historic Artemis II mission that's seen this crew travel around the far side of the moon.
And riding a fireball through the atmosphere is profound as well.
They're coming home pretty fast.
The capsule will enter our atmosphere at about 120 kilometres above Earth at an estimated 38,000 kilometres per hour. That's fast enough to fly from Sydney to Perth in 5 minutes.
There's no question that we'll all be anxious.
Then the most dangerous 13 minutes of the entire mission. Orion will be engulfed in flames with temperatures as high as 2,700 degrees Celsius. For 6 minutes, they'll lose communication. A 5-metre wide heat shield on the spacecraft's underside protecting the crew. There were major problems with the Artemis 1 heat shield on a test flight in 2022. Cracks developed and chunks of the protective barrier flew away. That mission was unmanned, but NASA says this shield will do the job.
We have high confidence in the system and the heat shield.
As they approach the ocean, a series of parachutes will be deployed. The Orion capsule will slow to a much more manageable 32 kilometres an hour, and then it splashed down in the Pacific off the coast of San Diego. Recovery teams poised to swing into action. US Navy helicopters will pluck the astronauts from the capsule and take them for medical evaluations before they board an aircraft bound for NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, where their families will be waiting.
We have to get back. There's so much data that you've seen already, but all the good stuff is coming back with us.
In San Diego, California, Reed Butler, NBN News.
The share market managed a solid rise this week despite a barrage of both good and bad news for traders. Now with the day's finance, here's Chris Kohler.
It's been another choppy week on the market, filled with talk of ceasefires and questions of whether those ceasefires will last. The key thing remains how many ships can get through the Strait of Hormuz. It's picked up a little, but as you can see, it's a long way from normal. Until that changes, the impact of the war on the economy won't improve much. Despite all of that, it was a strong week for our ASX 200. Down very slightly today, but up more than 3% since Monday. Guzman y Gomez has been the best performer over the week, roaring 35% higher after having a nasty few months. And the Australian dollar heads into the weekend buying 70 US cents, 60 euro cents and 52 British pence.
A man will face court tomorrow charged over a number of alleged firearms offences in Newcastle. Police launched an investigation earlier this month following reports a 32-year-old man had allegedly threatened a 19-year-old woman known to him with a firearm. Today, a search warrant was executed at a house in Waratah West, officers allegedly locating a stolen car and a number of weapons, including a loaded spear gun and a rifle. The man was arrested and has been refused bail. Disturbing new research on popular weight loss drugs has surfaced, finding many of those taking them could be missing out on critical nutrients and protein. Here's Hayley Francis.
Drugs like Ozempic and Mounjaro have revolutionised weight loss, but a new study being presented at this year's European Congress on Obesity has shown many users of these drugs are nutrient deficient. At least 500,000 Australians now rely on these weight loss drugs, originally created to manage type 2 diabetes, but with the side effect of weight loss from a suppressed appetite. So many users are eating less. Researchers analysing the data from an AI-powered nutritional tracking app found almost 90% of those in the study who were taking one of these drugs were not eating enough protein, and many were skipping meals. Short-term effects of poor nutrition include a weakened immune system and hair loss. The long-term effects, a reduction in bone density, increasing the risk of fractures and even osteoporosis. Experts are now warning that a balanced diet is essential for maintaining muscle mass, especially during weight loss.
People are eating significantly less food, but their body's need for the nutrients hasn't actually changed. If we can then make sure that we're getting each of these components of the plate at each meal, you can rest assured that you're getting a balanced diet.
A tailored meal plan alongside these treatments is being urged to ensure safe and sustainable weight loss.
A musical written, composed and starring rock icon Sting will make its one-night-only Australian debut in Brisbane tomorrow. The Last Ship is inspired by Sting's own childhood and features famed reggae artist and longtime friend Shaggy in his first ever theatre role.
What is it about your friendship that's so special, do you think?
I think he gives me what I lack sometimes. I lack spontaneity, and he's the most spontaneous person I know.
I think we just kind of run on a vibe and play off each other.
The stage show's next stop is New York. Well, basketball tricks aren't among Pope Leo's usual duties, but the American pontiff gave it a go when the Harlem Globetrotters visited St. Peter's Square, the exhibition basketball team helping the Pope to spin a ball on his finger, drawing cheers from the crowd watching on. That is a fair effort. Time for sport now. Jack Mahony's here. Jack, quite the upset in Nathan Cleary's milestone match.
Good evening, Tash. Well, not many saw the Bulldogs ending the Panthers' unbeaten run. Hear what Nathan Cleary had to say about the masterclass from the opposite number 7. Plus, why Wayne Bennett believes the Perth Bears can become the next NRL powerhouse. And we've got the latest from Suncorp Stadium ahead of the Queensland Derby.
I'm snapping nice, saying get inspired.
Imagine if every corner of your countertop was as impressive as that corner. With just a twist, a click, or a press of a button, it can be. Because there are kitchens, and then there's KitchenAid.
At the Australian Federal Police, everyday people do legendary work in over 200 diverse
various roles around Australia and the world. Everyday people, legendary work.
Half protection is not enough. Using just an antivirus online is also not enough. Get better online protection with NordVPN. It'll encrypt your online traffic, protect you from malware, phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get NordVPN now.
Oh, hey, hun, can you pass that?
She'll love it.
One tool could be the start of something so much bigger. Ryobi, come equipped.
Watch me. I'm sitting at the top all eyes. But you should know that I don't play my best cards.
It's gone in just one day. To enjoy our 12-month warranty, all you need is Electro-Dry. Electro-Dry.
Go Harvey Norman for contemporary living. Crafted for comfort, designed for modern living. Discover curated collections tailored to your unique space. Recline in effortless luxury. Entertain with timeless style. Find inspiration in every detail. In-store now at Harvey Norman.
Best Sheds, up to 40% cheaper. American Barnes from $9,250.
Best Sheds, massive 25% off Easter sale.
Call Best Sheds on 1800 15 17 18 or check out our range at bestsheds.com.au.
The game's best halfback, Nathan Cleary, has praised Lachlan Galvin after the rising star stole the limelight in his milestone match. The Bulldogs' number 7, leading Canterbury to the upset of the season in arguably the most polished performance of his NRL career.
Allowed to speak on the Accor Stadium big screen, but still on a club-imposed media ban.
He games to feel like an NRL player or understand it a lot, and I thought he was brilliant.
He's a freakish talent, and he's doing very well, and he's doing that at training, and it's coming out in the game, so yeah, it's been awesome.
You marvel at him in a way?
Yeah, for sure. I think he had a rough run of it in terms of outside noise last year, but from all reports, he's very good at blocking it out and doesn't shy away from the big games, and yeah, he was outstanding tonight.
The milestone man, still the man of the people, mobbed by fans in the stands. Why do you do it even after a tough loss?
Oh, it's without the fans, the game's nothing, and fans, my family, my friends, they show up no matter what. They've always got my back, so I really appreciate that. Yeah, a bit of a reality check, but it's not a bad thing.
Liam Martin faces a stint on the sideline with a knee injury, while Casey McLean has been hit with a one-match ban for this tackle that left Max. He's expected to miss at least 4 weeks, despite Bronson Sherry never wants to be banished again, the Bulldog returning after blowing up when he was dropped a month ago. How determined are you to show the Dogs fans, your teammates, the coach, that you want to be in blue and white long term?
Yeah, very determined. Me and Sarah had tough conversations, and we both know where we stand. And I'm coming in each day, and just not kicking stones and training hard to.
The injury hit Broncos take on the Cowboys in the original Queensland derby at Suncorp Stadium tonight. With the late mail, here's Bronte Gilday and Jonathan Thurston.
Well, a huge night of footy ahead here at Suncorp Stadium in the 65th instalment of what is an amazing rivalry between the Broncos and the Cowboys. And joining me to go through it all is North Queensland Cowboys legend JT. The Broncos, they've got a lot of injury outs. They're really going to have to test their depth tonight.
Yes, they certainly will. They're 1-6 without Renault and Walshy playing together. So, but that gives another person an opportunity. Tom Duffy, he was a former Cowboy, so he's got a real calm demeanour about him. He's got a great kicking game, so he's a great organiser as well. So I expect him to take control, and then Ezra Mann will look to play off the back of it. So even though they're testing the depth, they've still got a strong side.
And the Cowboys, they're coming off the back of 3 really good wins last week, keeping the Dragons to 0. What's working for them at the moment?
Yeah, it seems like their defence is starting to click, and no doubt they'll need that to be in good shape tonight against the Broncos, who can got attack from everywhere. So I like the way that Scotty Drinkwater's been playing as well. So he's been playing like a half 5'8". When he gets the ball in his hands, he can really sum up the situation. But big games are won in the middle part of the field, and it's going to be a battle of the forward pack. So whoever can win that area will go on and win the game.
Well, the crowd here is going to love it. All of that coming up just around the corner, live and free here on Channel 9.
Wayne Bennett believes the Bears can replicate the Rabbitohs and become an NRL heavyweight years after being forced out of the competition. A doubleheader in Perth tomorrow is giving rugby league fans a taste of what to expect when the Bears hit the field next year.
Say hello to Cody, the NRL's newest mascot, which has given the league's newest team its first win. This bear with speed to burn, the club moving fast too, even if it has struggled to sign a marquee player.
We don't get what we want all the time, but we're working really hard behind the scenes to build a formidable footy team.
Mal's old mate Wayne Bennett helped successfully establish the Dolphins and has some advice.
It's not a complex formula. It's just being patient and not wasting your money on guys that really can't get the job done for you.
Like the Bears, Bennett's Bunnies were once forced out of the NRL. South's returned even stronger.
30 years on, they're as good as any club in the competition now, and they've done a great job. And that'll happen for the North Sydney as well.
If merchandise sales are anything to go by, the Bears are already popular in Perth.
No, I missed out. Yeah, so they probably haven't got a hoodie to fit me at the moment, so we'll see what happens. But
it'd be scary in a hoodie.
It just fit me. My hair gets mucked up if I put a hoodie on. So.
Rugby League's weekend in the West sees some high-profile comebacks. Brandon Smith will play his first game of the year against the Raiders.
Yeah, he won't be at his best tomorrow. We're 5 weeks into the comp now and he hasn't played a game, so but he'll be good.
While Rooster Victor Radley lines up against the Sharks after serving his drug-related suspension.
He's paid his penance and, we love having him back in and his voice and his hunger.
Luke Duffy, NBN News.
The Giants have defended the club's growth since entering the AFL in 2012. Amid criticism, the game hasn't had the impact on the Western Sydney sporting landscape that had been hoped.
I remember 20 years after the Swans were playing, watching a game where they had 2,000 in the crowd. So that's, that's all part of it, and they're going really well now with great crowds. So we expect to follow a similar trajectory, hopefully a little bit quicker.
GWS face Richmond on Sunday in the Barossa Valley. After the break, Jason Day leads the Aussies at the Masters as a hard and fast Augusta National proves a true test. And 2 Aussies set to face off at the pointy end of the WSL season opener.
Watch me, I'm sitting at the top all eyes. You should know that I don't play my best cards. Look at me now. Missing on my way down like wow. Look at me now. I'm a way to my round. Look at me now. Missing on my way. I'm a way to my round.
Imagine if every corner of your countertop was as impressive as that corner. Where the only thing better than the book is the espresso. Where one battery can take you to unexpected places. And winning back the title of family favorite salsa can be done with just a twist. Because there are kitchens, and then there's KitchenAid.
Half protection is not enough. Using just an antivirus online is also not enough. Get better online protection with NordVPN. It'll encrypt your online traffic, protect you from malware, phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get NordVPN now.
Yui, you enjoyed.
We don't like to show off.
We should never be so vulgar as to make a fuss.
But BritBox has gotten bigger.
What?
Better.
No way.
And prettier than ever.
You can't be serious.
That's impossible.
More new exclusive mysteries, dramas, documentaries, and comedies.
Remarkable.
More ways to watch.
No big deal.
More of your favourites streaming before anywhere else.
Isn't it amazing?
Yes.
But let's not make a scene. BritBox, the ultimate collection of British telly. Always better, now bigger.
Oh, you don't you dare.
Welcome to the dark side.
And you fantastic.
Laundry!
Good news. The popcorn made it. Come on, scooch over. Remote, Stat.
Get that Disney Plus energy with Energy Australia. Enjoy 12 months of Disney Plus standard on us when you switch to FlexiPlan and stay.
Lazy Boy, world famous comfort. The biggest sale of the season is here with 30% off all Lazy Boy furniture. Save big on all recliners, sofas and modulars and lift chairs.
That's better!
Go Harvey Norman. Great deals on laptops. All the big brands from just $368. Save over $100 on this powerful HP. Now $868. Get an epic deal on this HP OmniBook AI PC. Best prices at Harvey Norman now.
Go!
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Shop in store and online. Best brands, best range, best prices.
History shows you need to be inside the top 10 after round 1 in order to win the Masters, and that bodes well for Australia's Jason Day, who sits in a tie for third. Only 2 players betted his opening round 69, one of them Rory McIlroy, the reigning champion putting himself in pole position to defend his title.
A tradition unlike any other. No first-team nerves for 90-year-old honorary starter Gary Player. The same couldn't be said for Min Woo Lee. Perfect weather meant firm and fast greens. Even the simple task became difficult for the highest-ranked Aussie, shooting a 6 over 78. The bunkers weren't a safe space.
Play the fourth from a single position.
As Bryson DeChambeau learnt the hard way with a triple bogey on 11.
Oh, my, Frank.
Those who were patient thrived, Jason Day's cool head rocketing him up the leaderboard.
Oh, it's a beauty.
3 under 69, the best of the Australians, perfectly placed with conditions set to get even harder.
There's certain locations where you have to miss and, you know, sometimes you just got to suck it up.
Tied at the top, American Sam Burns and reigning champion Rory McIlroy.
I don't think there's a good reason he likes them a lot.
Keep chasing now.
Golf shot that is.
Seemingly freed up after his dramatic victory in 2025, the Grand Slam winner produced his best opening round in 8 years, setting up his title defence with a 5 under 67.
Go on.
I was nervous. I was anxious to get going. But I think that's a good sign that I felt that way.
Nicole Dunn, NBN News.
Australia is guaranteed to have a surfer in the women's final of the Bells Beach Pro, with Molly Picklum to face Isabella Nichols in the semis. After Picklum downed American Lakey Peterson, Nichols produced her best ride on her final wave of the heat to down Caitlin Simmers by less than a point. The champions are crowned tomorrow. After a humbling loss to Macarthur, the Jets have refocused for their clash against Adelaide. Returning home for the first time in 3 weeks, coach Mark Milligan expects his side to put on a show as they chase history. The Jets haven't always enjoyed life at the top of the table, but they're enjoying its perks.
Yeah, a lot of big games, huh? For the Jets. It's nice.
A last start loss to Macarthur, yet there's no cause for concern in the coach's corner after a strong week at training.
I need them to back themselves. I need them to back their ability. I need them to back each other, and that's been the feeling this week.
A maiden Premier's plate is almost within their grasp, but don't expect too much change in the pursuit of history.
We're not here because we're focused on where we sit on the table. I think I said it was probably mid-November, early November. I think we were dead last. And it was the same. It was the same for us then. If we're willing to do the work off the ball, if we're willing to be brave when we have the ball, it gives us the best opportunity to go and win a game.
Last time out against Adelaide, it was a 5-goal shootout, which the Jets won, thanks to Clayton Taylor.
Clayton Taylor! The hat-trick boy!
Another thriller's expected tomorrow evening.
It's going to be a difficult game because they're a good side. They look to play. They've got some fantastic young talent as well. I think it's going to be a fantastic challenge for us this time of year.
Injuries to Thomas Aquilina and Joe Shaughnessy have forced a reshuffle at the back, but Milligan's keeping his cards close to his chest.
Probably a centre-back and a right-back will do the job for us. So, look, again, everyone's been fantastic this week. We have a number of options in sort of both those areas.
Kick-off at McDonald Jones Stadium is at 5 p.m. Northern Rivers swimmers are set to make a splash on the Gold Coast this weekend at the Australian Age Championships. Athletes from across the region training hard ahead of one of the biggest events in junior swimming.
Pushing their minds and bodies to the limit, lap after lap. Northern Rivers swimmers are this week powering through final preparations ahead of the Age National Championships on the Gold Coast this weekend.
So they're in the pool probably 8 times a week for the older swimmers, 2 hours a session, so at least 16 hours a week in the pool. And they've been grinding like that for the past 12 weeks to get ready.
Alstonville, Casino and Maclean swimming clubs have united in the lead up to the major meet, pooling resources to push their 14 swimmers to peak performance.
It's really a race preparation, getting them ready for the same warm-up that they will do at Nationals, involving them with the kids from Maclean and Austinville that they'll mingle with up there, and getting them to do a fast few swims at the end.
In a major coup for the regional squad, the swimmers are learning from Olympic royalty, retired Australian swimmer Ruth Everett, who now coaches in Maclean.
I'm really impressed with country kids, how tough they are, resting, and that's what I'm trying to get into their heads. Some of my boys would rather go and milk cows.
The club's close proximity to southeast Queensland, widely regarded as the hub of Australian swimming, helping fuel the region's rising talent.
Being in northern New South Wales, we really go up there and compete hard against those good Queenslanders all the time. And so, yeah, very, very good standard.
Races start 9 a.m. tomorrow at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. Tara Carrigan, NBN News.
Cudgeon's Jalen de Groot will run out for his first NRL game of the season when the Gold Coast Titans face the Parramatta Eels on Sunday. De Groot comes onto the extended bench after Max Fionney was ruled out due to injury. And Tash, that's all for sport.
Jack, thank you. Stay with us. We'll take a look at the weekend weather forecast after the break. One complaint is putting a tourist attraction's future on the rocks, even after it passed the Tate test.
It's un-Australian. Come on.
From spreading to snacking, baking or shaking, always choose Bega peanut butter.
La Roche-Posay new Anthelios UV Immune 400, our ultimate protection against harmful UV rays with Mexoral 400, our biggest innovation in UV protection in 20 years. Trust the #1 sunscreen brand in Australian pharmacies.
Our shelf prices are being added all the time. Like these family favourites, now lowered by $21. That's more in your pocket or more on the table. Woolworths, the fresh food people.
The BYD DM Super Hybrid Sea Lion SUV range is a smarter way to drive. And right now, it's a smart time to buy. For a limited time, you can get 1.88% per annum comparison rate finance on a 3-year loan term with no minimum deposit. Available across the BYD Sea Lion 8, Sea Lion 6 and Sea Lion 5 range. Make the smart move. Offer ends June 29 while stocks last. Book a test drive today.
1 ticket, 2 outcomes. Life-changing prizes for the winner and life-changing impact for patients. So win big and drive hope. Let's go.
There once was a kid with a cold so tough. His mum caught it too.
and nights were rough. Vicks Vapor Rub relieves cough and cold. They slept all night as their dreams unfold. With 8 hours of medicinal vapors, everyone sleeps better. Try Vicks Vapor Rub Extra Strong, 2 times active for your tough cold symptoms.
Come and discover the NRLX difference. NRLX is purpose-built for safety, efficiency and animal welfare, where buyers travel from across the region, creating strong competition and premium results. And with Outcross, every sale is delivered using best practice services and software. There's also no better place for a catch-up. Northern Rivers, this is our yarn. Come and discover the NRLX difference.
Blackout sale is now on at 40 Winks. Embrace the darkness with 50% off a select range of mattresses and 30% off selected furniture. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply. This sale is for a limited time only. 40 Winks. Serious about sleep.
Won't you please help me, help me.
We've helped Australians for 100 years. Now we're helping protect and prepare them for the next 100.
Warm to hot again today ahead of a milder change in the Northern Rivers coming towards the end part of the weekend. Severe tropical cyclone Mela is currently situated to the east of PNG. An upper level trough is producing thick cloud which stretches from the west down into the country's southeast, while a strong cold front is bringing some low cloud to Victoria. Tomorrow, a wintry air mass will bring gusty winds and showers to the southeast. Even some high ground snow is predicted. The warm northerly winds that we've been experiencing will be gradually displaced by a cooler change as the front moves north. Meanwhile, far north Queenslanders will be keeping close watch as the cyclone approaches. Let's take a look at today's top temperatures. 29 degrees at Yamba, Ballina hit 28, Casino today 32, Lismore 30 degrees and 30 also on the Gold Coast. Tomorrow's looking mostly sunny. There is the chance of a thunderstorm in the south of the region in the afternoon. Daytime temperatures up to 31 degrees, 37 for Grafton, once again very hot there. Yamba, Evans Head 33 on the way, Murwillumbah 33 degrees as well. Looking at conditions offshore, the Gold Coast waters sees 1.5 metres on a 1.5 metre swell. On the Byron coastal waters seas slightly higher, up to 2 metres, winds there northerlies at 25 knots. Sunrise tomorrow at Byron is at 2 minutes past 6. The morning low tide is at 10:12 on the Gold Coast. Looking ahead, the cooler change won't make much of an impact to the north of the region, mid to high 20s ahead. There is the chance of a shower Sunday at Ballina, then fine, but looking cooler for Monday. Partly cloudy at Lismore from Tuesday. That cloud will be lingering through the week, but not rain in it. Very hot tomorrow again at Grafton before temperatures take just a bit of a dip. This week while filming a new movie titled Honeymoon with Harry. The film's set to be released by the end of this year or early next. Finally tonight, a sleepy seal called Sammy has caused a few headaches for motorists on Victoria's Mornington Peninsula, forcing police to close a road. He's a regular visitor and so popular residents watched over him, keen to make sure he was safe. After a couple of hours, wildlife rescuers arrived and safely escorted Sammy back into the water. That is NBN News for this Friday. A current affair is coming up next, followed by Friday Night Footy. Thanks for your company. From all the team here, have a great weekend and good night.